with O'Connor. Hey, O'Connor, your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. We're them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pop us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? Hollywood House. In your house. We're here. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits. Because I'm with the shits. Because I'm ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. We are back. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, you already know we're here to give you that work when it comes to the professional wrestling business. And guys, we are back in your house. We are back. And of course, you guys can hear me here from the new household studios. It's a little raw right now, so bear with me, y'all. Got to get all kinds of stuff up. Still some wiring done. But I wanted to get you guys an episode out here from the new household. And I already see we got some motion in the chat right now. We got my man, Hype Jones, Hypocrisy Jones, sliding through and showing some love. And of course we got the voice, Josh Joseph, coming through showing some love. Really appreciate y'all. And just like my man Hype said, it is in fact time for a solo shot. This is the solo shot as we're going to talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw. We had Sting retire just this past Sunday at Revolution at AEW. The soft release of WWE 2K24 was today. If you want to spend that extra little bit of money, it is out. So I got it because I wanted to spend the extra little bit of money because I want to play it now. I wanted to play it now. So got that cracking. And guys, it's a good vibe to be here in this new crib. Like I said, maybe the lighting is a little bit off. It might look a little raw in the background. Maybe my sound isn't exactly where it needs to be at yet, but we're going to get it there, and I'm going to be able to get everything up as soon as I possibly can. And once I do that, I can give you guys a really great episode here in your house. And that's exactly what we're going to have right now. But like I said, we have a great episode here in your house to give you guys. And of course, we're going to be on the podcast version as well. I'm going to get this edited in time and everything, get it on Spotify, get it on it's already on YouTube, but get it on Apple Podcasts. You guys know, flip it and reverse it. So getting in this groove in a new house, and that's exactly what we came to do. And it's going to be a movie because that's what we do here at In Your House. So guys, we had Monday Night Raw last night, and I thought it was a pretty good show. I'm off this week because we were moving, and I went out and had a nice breakfast with my wife today. And I'll say all that to say this. I had to come back and watch a little bit of Monday Night Raw because we were so busy doing stuff around the house that I fell asleep last night. I got up. I got a few more things done. We made sure the kids got to school. And then we went to this nice restaurant here in town, in our new town, called Mornings. Real good food. And I had a mimosa for the first time. Y'all, I ain't never had no mimosa before. First time. I was like, what is this concoction? I'm sitting over here like, what's this little mimosa? All right, I could have like 2 or 3 of those, and it'll probably hit you right quick. You know what I'm saying? I see why all the fancy folks be having it for brunch, but yeah, had a nice little mimosa right quick, and then came back and finished Monday Night Raw from what I didn't catch last night. And I got to tell you, it was a really good episode. We're starting to really heat up going into WrestleMania. We have Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. They're preparing to confront The Rock and Roman Reigns on SmackDown to address the Bloodline's high-stakes WrestleMania challenge, which, of course, if you guys check it out, it was a tag team match. It was a good tag team match, honestly. Or it's a good idea for that tag team match, honestly. I like it. I think that's something that we've said on the show before, that this is something they could do on night 1, and then on night 2, they can have the match, that match being Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. So I think that this is, I think it was a good segment. We also learned in that segment that Seth Rollins is 100% cleared to wrestle, which is just in the nick of time. We're about a month out from WrestleMania. Tomorrow is like a month. Like, yeah. So it was once again, like I said, it was a good episode that we learned so much about what is going on with Seth Rollins, what's going on with Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins 100% cleared. But of course, you still have Drew McIntyre waiting in the wings there for Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins maybe giving himself too much to juggle. Maybe he's dealing with a little much. And I think that's the perfect thing going into WrestleMania. The perfect dynamic, the perfect story that the World Heavyweight Champion is a little distracted. You know what I'm saying? He's been really focused on his title reign for a very good amount of his reign as World Heavyweight Champion. But now he's getting distracted with things such as Roman Reigns and The Rock and the Bloodline and everything that they're doing and trying to stop them and stop their complete dominance and complete takeover of WWE. So that's one thing, of course, to consider right there, is that maybe he's taking on a little bit too much. So I think that could really play into Drew McIntyre beating Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. I truly believe that. I think that it can lead to distractions. It can lead to lap in mental, in the mental of Seth Rollins, that he's not completely focused on this championship. He's been focused on more than one of those things, and that's one thing that Drew McIntyre has been kind of hammering home, that he's like, this guy is not honoring his responsibility as the World Heavyweight Champion, or at least he's not focused on it, right? So that's kind of Drew's point. And Drew he's a heel. Like, he's a heel, but he's a heel that's making good points. I mean, like, not everything that Drew McIntyre is saying is wrong. Like, he's like, you need to be focused on what's going on Monday Night Raw. You need to stay out of that drama. You need to worry about your responsibility as champion here, and maybe you're taking on a little bit much. Like, Drew is straight up saying in everybody's face what exactly is going on. And I do believe that is going to be the demise of Seth Rollins. I truly do. Once again, I thought this was a good segment. They're going to go on SmackDown, and of course, my man Hype, when he gets a chance, he'll talk about that on his smoke sesh. He's been a busy man. He's been a busy man hosting those comedies over there in Kokomo. He's there at a comedy club doing his thing, man, just really working. But I'm sure soon enough he'll get back, get you a smoke sesh, talk a little SmackDown, because we're getting hot and heavy into WrestleMania season. Once again, like I said, really good Monday Night Raw in my opinion. We saw Gunther defeat Dirty Dominic Mysterio in what was a pretty good match. I mean, Dom stepped up last week and he said he'd take on Gunther, and he did. He got that match. He got exactly that. And it was a pretty good match, but Gunther wins. Gunther continues his reign of dominance over the WWE. And that's just what it's going to be, y'all. All right, Gunther ain't losing nothing, at least until WrestleMania. And that's another thing to talk about. It's actually a really good segue into what's going on with Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship. And we learned what is happening with the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. It is going to be a gauntlet match. So this was a gauntlet match that was set up by General Manager Adam Pearce, and as he would say, it is official. This match is official for next week. It is going to be Sami Zayn going up against Ricochet, going up against Chad Gable, going up against Big Bronson Reed, going up against Shinsuke Nakamura and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day in a gauntlet match. Winner faces Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 40. So a lot of different picks here that you can go with that make sense. We had my man Aaron Greider, referee Aaron Greider. You've seen him on OVW. You've seen him in the indies, many different indies many different indies in this local area. And he came on here and he said it's going to be Sami Zayn. He said it could possibly be Sami Zayn. That was his pick. Sami Zayn And we even talked about, well, what about Chad Gable? Chad Gable, had that great run at the title late last year in like October. I think it was earlier than October, but it was around summer. And he had a really good program with Gunther. Why couldn't it be him? And why couldn't it be him, right? Like, it could still possibly be Chad Gable. Chad Gable has a past. He has a history. He kind of played that up when he was pleading his case to Adam Pearce that, hey, what about me? It's not just about the title for me. It's also the fact that he, embarrassed me in front of my daughter. He made my daughter cry. So he's definitely got a case. Sammy also has been having a very interesting journey where we've seen the ups and downs of Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn is saying he will be a champion. He wants to be a champion. His goal is to, at some point, end up being a champion. And that could all lead to this Intercontinental Championship opportunity that will be coming. And it could definitely be Sammy as well. I don't think it's going to be Ricochet. I don't think Ricochet... yes, he's the one who Gunther beat for the title way back when. Like a minute ago. But I just don't think it's going to be him. I don't think it's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. I think we do something else with Shinsuke Nakamura. I like what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura, but I don't think him and Gunther at WrestleMania makes sense. Big Bronson Reed... He don't got enough heat behind him, I don't think. Like, Big Bronson Reed, he's a great talent. I do love what he does, but, like, he's not, like, there's no heat behind him. He's just kind of there right now, and it's like, he's the guy here, like, he's almost filling it out. Same thing with J.D. McDonough. I don't think at all that he has a chance of winning this match and going on to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. I just don't. Like, I know that they have this little feud that's going on with Imperium and the Judgment Day. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because we had a really good tag match between Imperium and the Judgment Day. And that came later on in the night. But I'm going to stay right here with this match right here. And I just don't see it between anybody. I just don't see it between anybody besides Sammy and Chad Gable. But just based on who is the most over, I think, and who knows how to fit that story better. And this isn't my original idea. This is a thought that Aaron Greider had that I agreed with. That makes sense. Like, it makes sense. Who plays the underdog better, Chad Gable or Sami Zayn? Well, if we're being honest, if we're really breaking it down, if we're looking back years and years, who plays the underdog better? It's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the better underdog. He can play that underdog story to make you care going into such a huge match at WrestleMania. We're going to WrestleMania here. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. It's got to be big. I think Sami Zayn plays that role better than Chad Gable. Chad Gable plays it good, and he played it good in the program that he had against Gunther last year. But at the end of the day, I truly think that Sammy is the better fit for the underdog story. I just do. He fits that role so perfectly into a T and has so many times, and now he gets to play that underdog character leading into WrestleMania. I think it's Sami Zayn. I wouldn't be mad if it was Chad Gable. Don't get me wrong. Like one of our users here, one of our commenters, he said he thinks it's going to be Chad Gable. And you might not be wrong. But I'm thinking that it's Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn is going to be the one. I think that we're going to see Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania. And there's no telling what's going to happen. Could Sami Zayn really beat Gunther? Is he really going to be the one to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania? Or is this just to continue to establish the dominance of Gunther? Really, everything Gunther doing is just good stuff. I cannot hate a man that finishes a match with a Boston Crab. He tapped out Dominic Mysterio with a Boston Crab. Quit playing with me. That's a classic. I love the Boston Crab, by the way. I've always been, since I was young. Even when I was young and I was wrestling with my buddies in like the backyard and stuff like that, I used the Boston Crab all the time. I can't hate a man that uses the Boston Crab. Gunther is a GOAT. He used the Boston Crab to finish a match. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's it right there. I think that's going to be a good match if they decide to do that. But I think next week's match is going to be really good too. I truly do. I really do. But this episode of Raw, things heating up. You got Sami Zayn staying with him. He defeated Ivar. Once again, I've been singing Ivar's praises for a while, that he's doing great work. And I hope that after WrestleMania we see Ivar do a little bit more. But I'm gonna need Valhalla to put some damn shoes on. Put some shoes on. All right, because I think just put some shoes on. All right, you got them all out there like that. Or get a manicure, pedicure, whatever it is. Do something. All right, I don't know. But what I do know is I got a chance to see the return of Andrade on Monday Night Raw, and he went up against Apollo Crews, and honestly, it was a good match. It really was. I mean, with Andrade being so new to the company again, him coming back at the Royal Rumble, and then Apollo Crews, who just shows up on Monday Night Raw with no heat behind him at all, it was pretty obvious who was going to win. But it was a pretty good match, I think. And I think that it was a good opportunity to display what can be done by Andrade. He beat him with that hammerlock DDT that he's been known to use, and I think we're going to see more of Andrade after WrestleMania. They're just trying to give him a little bit of heat right now, but put him in the ring with I don't want to say, don't take it derogatorily when I say that it was a job, because that's what it was. Apollo Crews is not a jobber. He's a former United States and former Intercontinental Champion, but he did the job. He jobbed to Andrade. That was textbook jobbing. You go out there, make the other guy look good, and then you lose. And that's exactly what Apollo did. There's no shame in it. He jobbed. So it is what it is. That's literally what it is. So, once again, not derogatory. Apollo Crews played his role. Andrade picked up the win. Nia Jax went up against Becky Lynch, and she ended up defeating Becky Lynch by disqualification, because we're seeing this budding story with Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan is feeling like she's got to pay back Becky Lynch. And now it looks like Becky and Liv are going to go up against each other, and there's just a lot of things moving right now for Becky Lynch. She has Nia Jax to worry about. She has Liv Morgan to worry about. She has the Women's World Heavyweight Champion Rhea Ripley to worry about. She got a lot on her plate, and if she doesn't be careful, she's going to take an L. She's going to take an L at WrestleMania. It's going to happen. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We got some situations up in here. The situation is situating here at In Your House, and we're coming up in here right now. What is up, my man? My man is coming in. We got Hype Jones. He's coming up in here right now. This was unexpected, y'all. I didn't think he was going to come up in here. And
I'm not going to lie. I just came here to do some behind-the-scenes stuff. But what up, household?
Hey. What is up, man? Monday Night Raw was last night. What are you doing, man? What are you doing on break? You on lunch or something? Are you sneaking around? They're going to fire you, bro.
Nah, man. I'm just doing my thing, bro. Yeah, I found a way to find a way. So
you beat the system.
yeah.
So
I just want to tell everybody in the household what's up, yo. And I think Raw was pretty good last night, and I think you're right on Sammy.
Hey, that's what we saying here. I think Sammy's gonna come out. That's Hype Jones, everybody. He's in here doing a little bit of work. And you can stick around if you want to, man. But if you got stuff to do, you got stuff to do. Totally get it. But yeah, Monday Night Raw, it was a vibe last night.
Yeah, it was a vibe, yo. I would stick around, but I think once I go back inside, like it'll be really, really, really loud. But I think they're hitting, and I'm really excited for Friday with for SmackDown. I think it's going to be a good session, and we'll have a lot to talk about when I come back with these smoke sesh. And sorry for everybody that has been enjoying those. Took a little break because I'm not gonna lie, Elimination Chamber and all that stuff was slightly predictable. So I didn't want to jump on there and just say the same stuff. So we're getting back in the groove. Things look like some things are really, really hitting right now, and I'll have a smoke session for you here soon.
Absolutely, man. Hypocrisy Jones coming through. He's got that smoke session coming. We'll let you get back to it, bro, and go back to your thing. But I got to get back to my thing, and that's talking a little bit of Monday Night Raw with you guys, the household that made us a 5-star podcast on Apple Podcasts. Expect those smoke sessions to come back. My man Hype, he does a really, really great job. But once again, back to what I was talking about, this whole turf war that has kind of started with Judgment Day and Imperium. And we saw the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions go up against Imperium, of course, Giovanna Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, and went up against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And I got to tell you guys, this was a really good tag team match. I really enjoyed it. It was a vibe. I got to be honest with you. It was a good match. I'm not saying I expected the match to be bad. I'm not saying that at all, because with the people involved in the match, I knew that it had potential to be good. But with it being on Monday Night Raw, and sometimes they like to have things, they like to tone things down a little bit when they have Monday Night Raw. Like, I wasn't sure they was going to let them go, but they let them have a good amount of time and have fun in that match. And that match looked fun. And I got to tell you, I think it was Paragon. One of the last episodes that Paragon was on here, that he was a little bit critical of Finn Balor and Damian Priest as a team, because all the other teams are teams that have been together for a long time. And at that point, I agreed with him, and he made sense in saying so. But I bring that up to say this, is I really feel like that Finn Balor, after watching that match, it made me think that Finn Balor and Damian Priest have really gelled together as a team. Yes, they are two individual stars. One is the first ever Universal Heavyweight Champion. Let's not forget that that was Finn Balor who won the first Universal Championship ever. Historic NXT champion. His runs will be remembered in NXT. Now tag team champion. Done so much. He's done a lot with the company. Same thing with Damian Priest. Had a huge program with Bad Bunny. He's done a lot of great work. North American champion in his past. Tag team champion. Senior Money in the Bank. I mean, he's just racking up the accomplishments. Damian Priest is quickly becoming one of my favorites over this last couple of years. Not to say I never didn't like him. It's just I didn't know very much of him before NXT as I believe, Punishment. Yeah, Punishment Martinez, I believe it is. And if I'm wrong about that, my apologies. I just know it was Punishment. But now, as Damian Priest, I've really dug the groove that he's putting out. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that they've gelled together really well as a team. They had some cohesiveness last night. Sorry, the mimosa hit me. But they had some cohesiveness last night, and I noticed that it seemed like that they're really gelling together as a team. So I'm ready to say that, like, I do feel like whoever they go up against, hopefully DIY at WrestleMania, I do think they're going to drop the title, because I think that we got to focus on what Finn Balor and Damian Priest are doing individually. And I think they dropped the title at WrestleMania. But I will say that them together as a team, they have gelled and they have done really well together. I do believe that. And they went over and they beat Imperium. And once again, a good match. And that's out to heaven is crazy. All right, it really is. And Pat McAfee and his little play-by-play like he's John Madden or something like that, keep that. I like that. It can stay. it can most definitely stay. I love it, and I'm a fan of it. So once again, Monday Night Raw was a vibe, was a good show. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it if you guys are trying to figure out what's going on in the wrestling world. Of course, we know you guys are here. You guys are here talking to me, so you guys are wrestling fans. So Monday Night Raw was a good wrestling show this past Monday. We had Drew McIntyre beat Jey Uso. Jey Uso, another guy who's come up so much. Main event Jey Uso. Definitely feels like a main event guy. This was a good match, and it's like we've been seeing. To me, this match was so perfectly booked, it was crazy. Because you have Drew McIntyre win the match, keeping him strong going into WrestleMania, and Jey Uso doesn't look weak losing to Drew McIntyre because he got distracted by his family, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, and that's continuing to grow that story that Jimmy don't want to let Jey be great. He can't leave him alone. He could be over handling business. He could be dealing with Cody, and he could be dealing with Seth Rollins, and everything going on with Roman and The Rock. But he's choosing to continue to mess with his brother Jay. Jay's just trying to do his own thing and stay in his own lane, and Jimmy keeps coming to him. This is definitely leading up to Jimmy versus Jay at Mania. That main event was so perfectly booked last night, it was ridiculous. It really was, because it got everybody moving where they needed to go going into WrestleMania. Drew looks strong. Jay's ready. Jay's feud with Jimmy's heating up as we get just about 4 weeks out from WrestleMania. So once again, I really, truly, thoroughly thought Monday Night Raw was a really good episode that moved so much. They did a great job. This was a solid 3 hours of television, and that's hard for me to say. Like that, I don't just say that loosely. I don't just say that loosely, because there's so many times where I'm just like, oh, Monday Night Raw is dragging. No, I'm telling y'all. Just take it from me, because I'm not trying to steer y'all wrong. I'm not just like trying to be a mark for one company or anything like that. No. I'm telling you, the wrestling was good this past Monday Night Raw. It was solid 3 hours of television, of wrestling television. Highly recommended. And honestly, WWE's cooking right now, because guys, we had the release of WWE 2K, and I'm going to talk about that, but I got to talk about something else real quick. I'd be remiss to not talk about this. And they even talked about it on commentary last night, and that was Michael Cole acknowledging Sting's retirement from AEW. Yes, Sting retired. Unless you're in the wrestling world and your head's living under a rock, there's no way that you're in the wrestling world and don't know that Sting retired and don't know about the legendary career that this man has had. He's literally called the icon for a reason. That man is the reason. Like, when I saw him, this is a true story. This is a true story, and I've told this story on this podcast before. What got me into wrestling, I went over to my friend's house when I lived out in Pomona, California. This was years and years ago, early 90s. Mid to early 90s, and my friend was playing WCW versus NWO Revenge, and he asked me if I wanted to play. I didn't know nothing about wrestling at the time. I just thought it was a fighting game with a bunch of made-up characters and whatnot, like Street Fighter or Tekken or something like that, and I played it. And the first character I picked was Sting, because he looked cool. I thought he looked dope. So I picked him, and then I was like, man, this game is fun. This is crazy. How they think it is? And my friend told me, this is a real show. This is a real show. It's called WCW, World Championship Wrestling. Check it out. So that was my first real exposure to wrestling. And then, of course, I went back and watched a whole lot of stuff. But my first exposure to wrestling was that. I was a WCW kid before I was a WWE kid. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? But yeah, I was a WCW kid. Loved the Cruiserweight division. Loved everything. Sting. I was a Goldberg fan. I know. I was a kid. Leave me alone. They had Hollywood Hogan. He was the bad guy. Everybody loved to hate Hollywood Hogan. And of course I know about wrestling before that. Of course I knew about WWF years before that, but I hadn't really dug into it until then. And it was Sting that brought me into it. You had his kids come out and do his other gimmicks like the Surfer and then NWO, Wolfpack. And is his son sure he don't want to wrestle? He looked pretty good. That Stinger Splash is pretty good. Is he sure he don't want to wrestle? Anyway, I just thought, I didn't watch the match in its entirety. I didn't. I was moving. My family was moving. I didn't even get internet until yesterday, so I haven't even had a chance to sit down and watch the match. It's crazy. But at the same time, I knew the importance of the night. I knew the importance of Sting's final match. And I do plan to go back and check it out and go back and really... But the moment just felt big. And, of course, Tony Khan came out. But I asked Hype this. And my man Chris Caliber, what's up, bro? Yeah, I know. They were Goldberg fans. I get it. But I told Hype this. I was like, what was when Darby Allin jumped off the ladder in the ring and went through the glass, I was like, who was he aiming for? Because it seemed like and I'm not here to complain or bitch or get off my lawn or whatever. I'm just saying it seemed like the one Jackson brother was too far away. If he would have... Even if he would have stayed on the glass where he was at, Darby would have still overshot him, it felt like. And it's whoo, man. Listen, I know I know that like the younger wrestling fans, they love that stuff. They love it. I know that death match is like a big thing. Death matches. I'm not against death matches. Not here to talk down about death matches. I'm just like trying to figure out what Darby. There's got to be something else here. You know what I'm saying? Like he cannot plan on wrestling that long doing this stuff. You know, I'm not gonna stay with that too long. I'm not gonna complain and bitch about that for too long because I know that sounds like old man energy. I get it, but I don't understand him doing that. Like it was just, I'm like I know, and that's gonna be and Hype liked the spot. He said here he liked the spot, and I did in OG. I really didn't know that Sting's son was a tight end in Kentucky. That's crazy. Had no idea. He looked great, but once again, I can't say that I didn't like the spot because I didn't watch the match in its entirety. If I have a better vantage point, a better view on it if I watch the match in its entirety. But watching clips and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh man, like that's just crazy because that man, I saw the pictures of his back and stuff like that, just crazy. But once again, not staying with that for too long. Sting is just that. He's an icon. Calling him an icon is not like hyperbole in any way. He's literally an icon. Like he is one of the best to do it with one of the best legacies, and he had that small run in WWE. Of course, we all know that he had that, and he had his WrestleMania moment. But guys, do you know how hard it is to be as great as Sting is without your time really truly being prominent in the WWE, WWF? He did a lot of his great work in WCW, a lot of his great work in TNA. Now he's having had a great one with AEW and everything in between. You know, all the places in between that Sting's been. So NWA, Sting's an icon. He's a legend, and it's great to see him go out on his terms, and more power to him. But now we move on, and Sting, complete legend, complete icon. Once again, thought it was very cool that they acknowledged him on commentary last night on WWE. It felt right. The vibe was right. No way they would let that happen if Vince was still there. No way. There's no way. But before I talk a little bit of WWE 2K, because I played a little bit of the game, I also can't. There's just a lot of happenings in wrestling. Like these solo shots are supposed to be short, but there's so much stuff to talk about, and I get to talk about with you guys, the household, that it can't be short. I got to catch up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Paul Heyman is going into the Hall of Fame, y'all. All right? My GOAT manager is going into the Hall of Fame, and I cannot wait to hear that Hall of Fame speech. Who's inducting him? Who's inducting the wise man, the advocate? You know what I'm saying? The manager, the revolutionary, you know, the special counsel. All of these things, man, manage some of the great talents, help develop some of the great talents. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Tommy Dreamer, Taz, giving all these guys chances. So many people saying there's no way I would be what I am without Paul Heyman. And once again, if you guys listen to one of the older episodes from just a few weeks ago, I said I had I'd watched the documentary of Paul Heyman, Ladies and Gentlemen, This is Paul Heyman. And I got so inspired by that documentary. I was already a huge fan of his work. But watching that documentary just made that guy so much more to me. And I love what he does, and I love what he's doing. Like, that's crazy to say. Like, all these years, he's still incredibly great at what he does, whether it be on commentary or as a manager, or some of the great years he had as a booker with ECW. And no, things weren't always perfect, and yeah, he sure didn't pay. There's people that didn't get paid, and they'll openly tell you that, and he'll openly tell you that. But damn it, this man loves this industry, and to see my GOAT manager go into the Hall of Fame, and I get to be, and I'm doing what he's doing. I'm doing what he's doing. All the stuff that he's doing is stuff that I aspire to do or that I'm already doing. So I love Paul Heyman, and I love his work, and I'm going to love hearing him talk at the Hall of Fame. It's going to be such a cool moment. And it's going down in Philly. What? Like, what? It's going down in Philly. Like, it's so cool. Like, there better be a 2300, bro. Like, what's going on, bro? Like, it's it's going to be such a great vibe that night. Like, anybody after that is just gravy. Like, I'm sure it's going to be a great... I cannot wait to see the entire Hall of Fame list, because Hall of Fame night is always awesome. But they came out hot with Paul Heyman. Very cool. And what's he going to say about it Friday night on SmackDown? We will see. But once again, guys, WWE 2K24 soft release today. It's already out. And it comes out officially, worldwide, nationwide, whatever, Friday. And I gotta say, I played a few matches of it. The game is so smooth. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it plays and feels and looks like one of their best efforts yet. Seriously. It plays, looks, and feels like one of their best efforts yet. Seriously. And the love, the specific love that they've given to this game feels special, because you have referees that are specific. You got like Charles Robinson, you got like Asia Smith, they're in there. You have like Mike Rome, you know what I'm saying, that's in there announcing, and it's great to see, man. It's really great to see everything that is going on with this game. As I'm looking here, I'm looking at some of the features right here, and it's great stuff. Like Samantha Irvin's in the game, like that's cool too. Like that's all dope. I got a chance to do the ambulance match, and that was really fun. I was Drew McIntyre against LA Knight. Everything looks really clean and good. And that match was actually fun. That match was fun. Like, I sat up there and I was like trying to hit the buttons to try to get this match, because you have to do it twice. You got to get the one door closed, and you got to get the other door closed, and you got to try to close that door. You got to try to close it, and you got it's just like the suspense there. It's good stuff. You can get on top. You can get on top of the ambulance. You can fight on top of the ambulance. You can throw homie off the ambulance. That's a good match type that they've added. I didn't get a chance to do the new My GM mode. I'm going to dig in that tonight, and then next time I do this, I'll talk a little bit more about WWE 2K, and we'll get that cracking. But then also, they got the casket match. They kept War Games, man. I was like, don't you dare subtract War Games. So they still got War Games. Everybody's updated. Everybody feels a little bit cleaner. I played a match with Jey Uso. They had the crowd wave, bro. They had the crowd wave up in there. That was dope. I love it. I haven't got a chance to play with everybody. They had Chelsea Green. They got the Chelsea Green. It's good stuff, bro. It's good stuff. I really recommend this game if you enjoy modern day gaming, if you enjoy professional wrestling. I think WWE 2K24 is a good vibe, and I'm definitely going to dig into it. Of course, we still have a little bit of like unpacking and stuff to do, as you guys can probably see. Like I said, it's kind of bare bones here in the household right now. That will change in time, but I wanted to get you guys an episode out there, and you know, it was a little rocky there in the beginning of this episode, just because I had my cats going crazy and stuff like that, and trying to get everything situated. But I'm glad you guys rocked with me for this episode. I enjoy the interaction in the chat. Thank you guys. I know you guys are busy out there. It's 2:30 on a Tuesday, and you guys are in here joining me. So I appreciate y'all coming through, talking a little bit of wrestling, and yeah, man, there's movement going. There's movement going here in the household, bro. I've been a busy man. This Saturday, I'll be over at Emerge, and that is going to be great. I love Emerge and everything that Emerge does. Of course, I'll be on commentary. It's Emerge 76 in Like a Lion, Columbus, Indiana. And of course, it's always a great vibe. Anytime I get a chance to do commentary or do anything at Emerge, I love it. I enjoy it. But also another show that is coming up, and I will be in attendance. And once again, I just want to throw out real quick, I let everybody know that I changed locations on my social media, and I appreciate y'all sharing it, and appreciate y'all putting it all out there. And because you guys did that, I have a new opportunity. I will be doing backstage correspondence and helping out with promos and whatnot for Wrestle Arts. Wrestle Arts, it is going to be going down in Indianapolis, March 23rd with 9 huge matches, including a dog collar match, a global open weight crown match, global women's crown falls count anywhere match, a fight without honor, an I quit match, a scramble match. You're getting it all. All right. This Wrestle Arts, I've only got a chance to see this promotion from afar, and seeing everything that I see, they do really good work, and it's these matches and some of the and if you guys are in the Indianapolis or Midwest area, these are names that you're gonna know. Most definitely. Names like Jordan Dye, names like Apollo Starr, names like Aaron Williams, names like Alice Crowley, names like Josh Crane, names like Avery Hertz, names like Hoodfoot, names like Dylan Cole, upcoming names like Idris Wolf, Jeffrey John, Laney Luck, so much others. Trip Cassidy is making an appearance at this one. This is going to be a really good show, guys. I highly recommend that you guys go out to Wrestle Arts and come check me out. Come check me out because I'm going to be there for this big show, No Way Out. And I want to let you guys know because I'm getting the information up here right now because it's new. This is new for me and I'm excited. Super excited. That's 5505 East Washington Street at the Irving Theater. Wrestle Arts. Come check it out. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be my first show with them. Hollywood Howse going to be in there doing this thing. And you never know what might happen at that show. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and slide on out of here. Call this a really great episode. Really appreciate you guys sliding through, giving me your energy, giving me your love. But until next time, guys, you already know you guys can find me at Hollywood Howse. That is on Facebook and that is on X. What the hell happened to Facebook earlier? All right, they didn't pay the rent or what? They didn't pay the internet bill or what? I don't know. But anyway, it's at Hollywood Howse. Then on IG, it's at the Hollywood Howse. Then this whole podcast here is on all of them at In Your House. And of course, that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So really appreciate you guys sliding through, giving me that love. And guys, until then, go ahead and make sure that you tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone. Because the household, we still go mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.